This is Talk is Sheep, the official podcast of the Wild Sheep Society BC, brought to you by Sitka Game. Come along as we bring conversations that matter to you into the high alpine.
Oh, hello, Mr. Stelter.
Here we are again. We're going to have to stop meeting like this. It's a crazy world, this virtual world. So,
yeah, one of these days we'll have to do it face-to-face again, but for now we'll just keep it on the computer and distance ourselves from each other. So we're rolling into episode 125 with the man, the myth, the legend there, Jason Bellows from Westside Stores.
Yeah, really cool to sit down. Jason's been a long-time supporter. He's obviously a sheep hunter and killer. He kills a lot of stuff, really cool stuff, and it's fun to catch up with him on this chat, and fun to hear about his hunts and his conservation ethic and everything that he does, right? So, pretty cool guy.
Yeah, and he seems to be so humble about everything he does. He just, it's like pulling teeth trying to get him to. Muted myself somehow by accident, but he's so humble when it comes to his hunting adventures, and you start talking to the guy, and he's just an absolute killer out there, and he's running a fishing charter business, and he's keeping busy. He's a man of many hats, many talents.
Well, the one thing that I like a lot about Jason is the small family run business. It's pretty cool when you see a guy like that start up a business, and he took over from a previous family run business. He's got Sarah's wife involved, and his girls are involved. Obviously they're not working there yet, but guarantee they will be. And just really cool. Just the kind of people that you love to see doing well in life, and doing their thing, and then so generous to the way they give back as well.
Yeah, they're just a stand-up family, and I'm sure their daughters are going to be taking over that business one day and allow Jason and his wife to go on a few more adventures and leave the store in their trusted hands. But it's a great chat, and I hope everybody enjoys listening to episode 125. And we, with the society, we've got some other things going on right now. We just ended with the Penticton Interior Sportsman Show, or BC Interior Sportsman Show, this past weekend.
Yeah, and for anyone that's listening, I'm going to be in Victoria on this weekend. So it's the Victoria Outdoor Show. It's their first annual, and the Victoria Outdoor Adventure Show, April 21st to the 23rd. It's at West Shore Parks and Recreation, and should be a great show. So if you're kicking around the area, come by, say hi. And just come chat wild sheep, talk as sheep, whatever suits your fancy, and just be good to connect with some members and connect with some people that aren't members, and maybe even pick up a few rifle tickets on this 6-gun super raffle we got going on right now.
Yeah, tickets are flying off the shelf on that one. How are they doing? I know the past couple of days they've been hammering it out.
Yeah, we're pretty solid. I think we're about, in our first month, we're over just over 20% sold out. So yeah, we're on par for a solid again. But the big takeaway here is that there's an early bird draw. So you got to get in early for that. And then, so there's 6 rifles. We're going to give one away this early on. And then the other 5, we draw at the end of the raffle. So get in nice and early. You get a chance for all 6. That first one we're going to draw in early June. And then we got 5 more to give away later this fall. So pretty cool setup. Precision Optics is our main lead on this. Of course, we've teamed up with a bunch of other industry sponsors on it, but Precision Optics is the lead on it, and just a killer set of rifles that is perfect for the anyone that's a sheep hunter, aspiring sheep hunter, or anyone that just likes guns.
Yeah, no, there's you got a good chance. One ticket gets you a chance at 6 of them, so take your pick when you win. We got, I kind of want to give a shout out to Mr. Peter Gooch right now too, where he's full-time lamb monitoring, or as much full-time as he can, along the South Thompson, where we had done captures these in December there, and he's out there trying to figure out what's going on with the lambs, and we're looking forward to an update any time now, and see what's going on with the lambs and where they're going and why there is no lambs, because they didn't find any disease in any of those sheep.
Yeah, so those Kamloops lakes, that's one of our projects, is Kamloops Lake and the South Thompson. We did a capture there. Radio collars got put on early winter. this year, and we've been monitoring them, and now we want to really see what's going on with the lamb recruitment. So Pete's out there. What's going to happen is when the lambs start dropping, we're going to try and have volunteers that are going to get eyes on the lambs. Obviously, you can't approach them. We're not going to disturb them, but get eyes on them, see what's going on. If there's any mortalities, we'll jump on that mortality, try and figure out the cause of it. Because like you said, Greg, it's low lamb recruitment, so we're really trying to determine the cause of that. So this is going to be a great project. Interesting enough, I talked to Matt McCabe. He was out there today with Skeetchison. He's one of our directors, Matt, and he said that lamb recruitment was really strong from last year. So the numbers looked really positive. He was really actually some really good feedback there. So yeah, Gooch is going to be hard at work for the next couple of months. And if you're interested in helping out, you can get to Kamloops. We're looking for volunteers. So Pete's the coordinator on that. You show up in Kamloops and then you can go check it out. We're going to give you a location. Obviously, you got to keep your distance, but our goal is to have you there on the spotter watching the ewes drop lambs, and which would be super cool to experience.
Yeah, and the volunteer opportunity isn't just in Kamloops either. I think it goes Ashcroft all the way to Chase pretty much. Like it's a good stretch. So whether you're coming up the canyon, it's divided into 3 big areas, and there's 3 leads, and Pete's leading the east area. I guess you could label it. I'm not sure of the official name they're calling it, but you know, it's good. It's going to be good to get as many eyes on there as possible, and hopefully lock in what the problem is.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's listen to Mr. Bellows, Westside Stores, on episode 125 of Talk is Sheep.
This episode is sponsored by our conservation partner, Yeti. Thank you, Sitka Gear and Yeti, for investing in healthy wildlife and sustainable ecosystems.
Hello, Mr. Bellows, our friendly show neighbor at the last couple of BC Outdoors shows in Chilliwack. How you doing, my friend?
Very good, very good. No candy tonight, but yeah, I'm doing good.
Oh, the candy man disappoints, eh?
Yeah, I can only do that once in a while.
Yeah, well, it's a good place to binge candies at the show. We'll wait in between people walking by the booths. So,
yeah,
and we appreciate your efforts in being the delivery boy.
keeps me in everybody's good books.
Yeah, right on. So let's start with the basics here. Who is Jason Bellows, and give us a quick rundown of who you are, where you're from, and what drove you into the outdoor world.
So yeah, Jason Bellows is my name. Own Westside Stores here in Salmon Arm, BC. We're a full hunt, fish, camp store. It's about 6,500 feet, this shop, so it's a pretty good size here in the interior. Grew up here in Salmon Arm, grew up on a small farm. My parents still are there on the farm, just raising beef cattle, stuff like that. I've got one younger brother still there. I'm the oldest of 4 boys. So had lots of farm help. You know, for my dad, we were pitching hay bales all summer, moving irrigation pipes. Nobody wanted to come visit us during the summer break, that's for sure. It was all work. So, but pretty fortunate. I mean, it was a good way to grow up. It was, yeah, it's kind of just lifestyle, hunting, fishing, just kind of come natural to us there on the farm. So,
right on. So at the Westside Stores there in Salmon Arm. Now, are you the original owner, or did you buy that off somebody? We bought it off the Crown family. Be 11 years now. Back 2012, March 1st, 2012 was our takeover date. The Crown family had it for about 22 years in town, and it was just time for them to do some other stuff and get into other things, and the opportunity was right for me at the time, so kind of flattened everything I had and got into the shop. I mean, my previous life, I did a steel fab apprenticeship, so I come out of a big shop here in town, and I went out on the road for almost 8 years. I traveled all over the world putting in sawmill equipment. So I did mechanical service and install on sawmill equipment before buying the store and taking over. So I definitely don't come from a business background. It's kind of just learning some hard lessons as we go here some days. So what made you take that jump? Because that's quite the difference in career choices, going from living on a cattle farm and then doing the sawmill equipment thing, and now you're a business owner selling goods.
Yeah, it was a big jump for sure. We I mean, it was a big decision, but the road life was tough. Like it was, we worked 7/12s. I worked 84-hour weeks on the road. And I'd be gone 6-8 weeks at a turn. Come home, you're home a few days, get a phone call, and gotta jump on a plane again, right? So it was good, but it was tough. I mean, it would be tough to fully do a family life that way, and family was something I wanted. So kind of had to make that decision to give up that part of my life and that kind of the money part, right? To do something different and be home here where, Sarah and I have 2 little girls, 5 and 7 right now, that are, quite the handful. They keep us busy. So, like I say, had to come off the road or that life would be pretty tough to have.
Yeah, no doubt. Family life and that kind of a road life is they don't go coincide very well.
Yeah.
Now, when you purchase the store, that's you say 6,500 square feet. That's quite the store. Did you bring staff along with you from before, or did you have a whole staff coming when you bought it?
So the store originally was in a little mall here in town, and it was when I first got it was about 3,200, maybe 3,500 feet. We had a 5-year lease in there that we got from the previous owner. He signed that lease to give us that stability in there, and we got through that term and decided it was time for an expansion and make the shop bigger, and the opportunity come up to get into a building here right on the highway. So we took that opportunity, and it was pretty good. That was 2016. We built the shop here and moved locations. I was in here for about 2 months, building this place. So logs, if you come in here, you're going to see log work in here that, one of the big pine come off the family farm. We went out and cut a big pine down and used sections of it in this build. They wrap these steel columns that are in the shop. There's fir trees all over in here that our range was doing an expansion at the time. I went up myself and cut them all down with the chainsaw and bucked them up and brought them down here, and lots of barnwood off the farm in here. So it was a pretty cool build, and it was very personal. Like everything in here is us. Like we touched it all and built it all. So it was kind of nice to have an established business that we purchased and be able to move and expand it and grow it.
Well, that's nice to be able to put your own personal touch on things in there too, kind of. Not so much at home, but I'm sure you spend probably just as much time in that place as you do at home, so might as well make it feel like home, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've got an office up top here so I can oversee the whole place during the day, and it's a good view.
You already got the girls running the counter for you and training them?
Oh man. Yeah, they're getting better. The first few years in here, they would just tear the place up. They get into, because we do hunt fish camp, the fish world's got lots of color. So they would get into bobbers, they'd be into little corkies, they'd be grabbing lures. I mean, they'd fill shopping carts, and I'd have to follow around and put it all back together, right? So, they're getting a little better for that. We kind of rein them in a little bit here now.
Yeah, well, you said 5 and 7. That's quite the age to be running rampant in the store. So
yeah,
it's the same age gap I have. So I know all too well. Take them into a store, you're going to be high blood pressure shortly. So
yeah, and I mean we pick them up from school every day at 2, so they come here with us, and Sarah's in here because she does all the web stuff and does the shipping and everything for us. So the kids, I mean, this is their second home too. We pick them up from school and they come straight here, and they're here for 2, 3, 4 hours every day. They got to wait for us. So it's kind of, I mean, they're in the back room as much as we can, but they get out on the floor and they're running around playing hide and seek in the clothing and monkeying around. It's, as long as they're not causing grief with customers and staff, then I have to let them free range a little bit. I can't just lock them down every day.
Well, that for me personally, I'd say that adds a nice touch to the family owned and operated store. If the kids are running around, and you just make you feel at home a little bit more.
Yeah. Previous owners had a lab. I have kids.
there you go. Equally as messy sometimes. No, so.
Oh yeah.
Now you've been a long-time supporter of the Wild Sheep Society of BC, and you're obviously through your business you're quite the supporter of ours as well. How important is it to you and the company to give back to conservation, and what kind of led you in that path?
I mean, it's very important, and it's not. I don't think it's about me right now. It's more about the kids in the future. As we get older and we watch our kids grow, I think we realize that we need to do our part, and we need to contribute and take care of the wildlife and their homes, right? Take care of the habitat so that there's wildlife here for the kids and for the future. I mean, future generations, not just our kids, but our grandkids. So it's very important to me. I've been on the Sport Fish Advisory Committee. I've been tied into that with the salmon world. I do a lot with the Fed as well, and then of course as much as I can with wild sheep through the business and in our personal to help out where we can, for sure. Because I mean, wild sheep does so much good work. I mean, that money gets to the ground, and it really helps wildlife and their habitat. So it's very important.
Yeah, well, we appreciate everything you do for us and wildlife in the province. Your support goes a long way. Now, do you try to kind of instill those values in your daughters as you're raising them, hands-on with the outdoors stuff, or just free range and let them go?
No, those kids, they've been part of the outdoors right from day one. I mean, I've got a picture of Ava we're on an elk hunt when she was 3 months old. She's got an elk call in her mouth. She was 8 months old, I guess. 8 months old. We had her strapped to us. We were down in Texas swimming through mesquite, prickly mesquite, chasing hogs down there when she was 8 months old. So they've always been in this. They've always, they've grown up on wild game. That's the bulk of our diet is deer and elk and stuff like that we hunt. So they've always been part of it. They fish with us. Man, Ava at 7 last summer was reeling her own salmon in on the ocean with knucklebuster reels. And I got video of her getting her hand out, letting them run. Like I've kind of taught her to pretend she's a bull rider and get her right hand up and in the air and let that fish go, right? So, no, it's part of their life. It's going to be part of their life. And, I think it's important for them. They know where their food comes from. And they know how important that is, and how important it is to take care of those animals.
Well, and if you're getting them on there young, and they'll be great ambassadors for what we do, I'm sure, and teaching their friends at school, just similar to what my kids are doing, I'd imagine. Yeah. It's kind of a strange time, I guess, right now. I mean, we're in a kind of a small town, and my daughter said today, because we found a bear den on the family property, we do a friends and family archery shoot Easter weekend. So Sarah and I on Friday, we set 27 archery targets and do a 3D course on the family farm, like up on the mountain. We've got about 70 acres of mountain up there. Yeah. So we found a bear den the other day, and I talked to my oldest, and today she was saying it's hard to talk to the other kids about that stuff because they don't understand it, right? So at 7, it's hard for them. I mean, they're going to share that stuff, but if the other kids don't understand it or don't agree with it or don't come up from a home of doing it, it's hard for the kids to understand that and portray the message, I guess, or get that message through it, that it's kind of natural and it's okay, right, to hunt and fish and be connected to the land. Yeah, no, exactly. I think it's critical to get the children involved and stuff like that, and share it with their friends, and as they grow older, I'm sure we all get the bad comments and the grief, but I'm sure a lot of us pride ourselves in being able to educate others in what we do. So that's You're talking about fishing, and when we were chatting in Chilliwack there, I learned something about you, and I feel kind of stupid not knowing, but I didn't realize you had a fishing charter. You want to touch base on that? What's your charter called? Yeah, so we run a charter business here on Shuswap Lake. Name of the business is Bucktail Adventures. So it chose that name because on the lake here in the spring, bucktail fishing is pretty popular. We get some pretty good rainbow out there. We run Type 6 wetline fly rods and bucktails and kind of cruise the shoals, and we get some pretty good rainbow. So 2016, I guess the same year we got the shop.
Yeah, same year we did the shop. It was a big year. We bought a 27-foot kingfisher. So Sarah and I decided to start another business and bought a 27-foot kingfisher. Ordered that in, had a custom interior built to kind of suit us for the guide business, and we jumped in with 2 feet on that one, and it's been 7 years. It's busy. It gets really busy in the summer, which pulls me out of the shop quite a bit. I mean, there'll be years where I'll do 50, 60 days out there, and and turn down 30 or 40 trips where I just can't do them. I mean, it's just too much for me, and the bulk of my season is tourist season here on the Shuswap. So it's kind of, we'll do a bit through June, but we really go crazy July and August into early September. We fish rainbow, lake trout, and kokanee on the big lake. And then about August 20th or so, I moved the boat over to Chase, and I finished my season over there catching Chinook inland. So we've got an inland fishery on the South Thompson Chinook, and we can fish them in Little Shuswap Lake. So I get clients over there, and we target Chinook, which is fun for me. It's a nice change to get into the bigger fish. They average kind of 12 to 16 pounds. So we can look at 20s, 22s, and they just a bigger fight. Like, it's kind of nice to get into those big fish. So yeah, it's fun. It gets me out of here a bit, and it's a bit of a change from the shop life to being out there catching fish with people. And I get kids their first fish. I get wives their first fish. I'm very family orientated. The boat was designed. It's got a head on board for the ladies. I really cater to families. That's really what I want out there.
A 27-foot boat, you have room for a bunch of families in there at a time, I bet.
Yeah, there's a few families for sure. I'm pretty comfortable with 4 to 6 people out there, for sure.
Oh, right on. That's a good number of people out on the boat at a time. What do you typically do? 4-hour days, 8-hour days?
Lots of 5s. So my half days are 5. I'll do a full day of 8, but most people want 5. I start kind of early in the morning. I'll get off the dock with them by 7 and try and get them back in early afternoon. My 5-hour days never turn into 5-hour days. I'm usually 6 or better because I want people to end with fish. So we kind of grind along as long as they're willing to hang with me, which 95% of the time they are. We'll kind of gut it out a little longer and kind of end the day with some fish. So yeah.
Oh, right on. So what would you consider, your most targeted fish? Like, what's the popular one you're always chasing? Rainbows or the Lakers?
Yeah, the prize out there is a big rainbow for sure. That lake, the population fluctuates quite a bit based on the food source, which is the main food source for them is sockeye. And we've been seeing it, of years where the sockeye runs in the Fraser are diminishing. The Adams River run is the big run that everybody knows. And growing up as a kid, when I went to trade school at BCIT and stuff, we'd fish 2 or 3 summers in a row down in the Fraser for sockeye, and now we're down to, 1 at best. So the sockeye runs are really diminishing, which is dropping the food source for our fish in this lake, which is it's stunting some of those rainbows. So what we end up targeting a lot more big Lakers and a lot of kokanee, because we can catch quite a few kokanee out there with the kids. They're tons of fun. You get on them. They're a school fish because they're salmon. So once you find them, you just start doing loops on them. You can really pick on those things for kids and get kids reeling quite a bit, right?
Oh, awesome. Well, when you're picking up Lakers and Shuswap, what's a big Laker for the Shuswap? I'm pretty ignorant to that side of the province. I don't go over there very often. Yeah,
a big one for us. Would be double digits. So 10 to 15 is a good Laker. We're going to average a lot of 6s. So that's the most regulated lake in the province. We're allowed 1 fish a day and only 5 a year out of that. You got to buy a tag to keep a rainbow and a tag to keep a lake trout. Rainbow need to be 50 centimeters to keep one, and Lakers need to be 60. So they've done this. They put this rule in about 30 years ago to bring the numbers of fish back and promote genetic diversity. They want to ensure those fish spawn at least once in their life before they're harvested. So a rainbow at 20 inches, say 50 centimeters, has spawned once in its life by then. And Lakers are real slow growers. They grow on average about a half a pound a year, and they don't sexually mature until they're about 8 years old. So they got to ensure that that they get to that age and spawn once before they are harvested. But in doing that, they've put a lot of mouths in the lake, which again kind of stunts growth because there's only so much food in there for them, right?
Yeah.
So they don't get as big as some of the lakes in the Caribou, or even Cal Lake for that matter. I mean, we go to Cal Lake, we could look at Lakers at 30 pounds, right? So.
Yeah, no, that's still 10 to 15 pound Lakers. Got to be a good fight, especially if you're getting kids on them, and that's something enjoyable for sure.
Yeah, and I do them on a 1-to-1 reel, so I use Islanders out there, so the kids go to war on them. They don't get geared reels where they can run 6-to-1 ratios and catch up on them quick. They gotta fight fish.
Perfect. Got to make them earn it.
Make them earn it.
Yeah. And feel the burn in the morning.
I always tell them they're doing curls for the girls. They don't have to work out, so you can just hit the beach after.
Oh, you're on shoe swap, might as well, right? No,
there's no shortage of beaches and ladies.
No. That's fantastic. Now, you've spent a little bit of time in front of the camera too. I know you don't really talk about it too much, or you don't see it very often everywhere. But you were on a TV show for a bit. Are you still on a TV show?
Yeah, so I helped out with a show called Trigger Effect. We sponsored them for quite a while, and I pro staffed for them to help them out on episodes. If they needed an extra guy, or I mean, my wife and I filmed quite a few episodes just ourselves for them. Turkey hunts and things like that.
Yeah.
It was a ton of fun. Great experience. What it really got me. It got me hunting different species, and got me out of BC quite a bit too, right? Into the prairies hunting waterfowl, out to Manitoba for whitetail. I went to Ontario to hunt eastern turkeys. I've taken turkeys in Montana, Idaho, BC, all over the place. I really fell in love with turkeys actually from filming that show. I'd hunt those guys every day if I could.
Yeah.
So it was a great experience. I did it for probably 4 or 5 years, I guess, or maybe more with those guys. They run for 10 years. Not easy, you're looking for sponsorship constantly. They're fighting to get on TV, buying TV time, prime times. It's a tough gig, and it really opened my eyes to how much work they do. And the first little while, very nervous on camera, kind of blowing lines and trying to get closings done, and just kind of felt weird. But by the end, it become old hat. Like it got pretty comfortable, and it was fun. It was lots of fun.
Yeah, well, it's got to be an interesting challenge too, is having to focus on what the cameras see when you're trying to hunt. So you're thinking about all that extra stuff going on around you, and sitting trying to make turkey hunting interesting on cameras. Got to be a challenge. It's super fun while you're doing it, but it's got to be hard to sell it on a camera, I'd imagine. Yeah,
it's. I think the hard part is some of those species like your elk and your whitetail and turkey. I mean, they're early morning, late at night critters, right? Turkey, no, not so much, but the elk and whitetail stuff. And when you're on those hunts and you get a tap on the shoulder like, "Hey, camera, we're done," and you go, "What do you mean we're done? Like we got 15 or 20 minutes of shootable light." The cameraman's going, "Nope, we're done. We can't see anything anymore," right? Because the camera is just, you're losing light so fast with them. You can't zoom in on anything. It just they shut you down. So it's hard. Or you got an opportunity in an animal, and the cameraman's going, "Nope, there's something in my way. Hold," and that animal would zig when it should have zagged, and it'll walk out of frame, and you're just. So it's a lot harder than hunting for yourself, for sure. When you're hunting, you get an opportunity to squeeze a trigger or get it done, right? But when you got the camera there, the camera runs the show, and man, you only get one chance at that shot, and if it gets messed up in any way, a very big hunt, very expensive hunt, a lot of time and everything invested is kind of blowing, right? So yeah, it's some pressure, that's for sure.
Yeah. What would you say is the coolest hunt, or the hunt you appreciated the most that you got to do because of that show?
Oh man, yeah, that's a toughie. I really fell in love with hunting turkeys doing it. Sarah and I still do it to this day. Like we're looking at the schedule right now, and today's the 12th of April. turkeys are opening in 3 days. We're trying to figure out how to get down to the Kootenays to chase these things, right? So a lot of the turkey episodes were a ton of fun. I mean, Sarah and I, we were set up on decoys down there, and we had a pretty cool experience where we're in a ground blind, set up first thing in the morning doing some calling, and had a she-cat cougar come out to us and come into our decoys at 18 yards. So she come into the decoys and sniffed the decoys and stuff and went to every decoy, and we got it all on film. I mean, it was pretty cool. And then she realized those weren't real turkeys, and she just kind of slinked through the field and down the hill she went. The waterfowl, in my days growing up, I mean, we're not really in a flyway here in Salmon Arm, so we didn't really hunt waterfowl, but that show gave me an opportunity several times to go out and hunt waterfowl out in the prairies, and got a real cool, a bunch of experiences out there shooting snow geese in Saskatchewan. I mean, there is something when you see 50, 60,000 birds on fields. It is unbelievable. So, yeah, lots of cool experiences. Lots of fun, man.
Those super flyways back east there, I'm always envious. I know a few guys that head back for the snow geese, and it's just, that's on the list for sure, to see that that amount of waterfowl in the air, and you just take your shot.
Yeah, we had a fog morning one morning, and those, they can use electronic calls out there. So the guide, they set speakers out and stuff, and they're a ton of work because we set 400 to 600 decoys in the morning. Like, it is, you're out there in the dark with headlamps on setting decoys, and those geese, you could hear them come over us, and they would turn the calls up, and you could hear them hook and come in, and we're wearing white Tyvek suits to blend in with all the snow geese decoys, and they had these cool layback chairs, and those geese would drop out of the clouds on us, and you felt sorry for them for just that nanosecond, because they had no idea what they had just dropped into, and man, I just shake like a dog. It's just like when your dog's excited, I just shake. It's so fun, and you pull up on them and you touch the trigger the first time, and that feeling sorry goes away, and it's like, I got 2 more rounds. It's just, yeah, it's a ton of fun. I mean, I think we you're allowed 20 a piece out there for snows and specs and Canadas as well. I think we stopped about 108 heartbeats that morning. It was something else.
Oh wow, that'd be busy. That'd be a busy morning.
Yeah.
So is the turkey slam in your future then? If you're getting addicted to those as well, or you're gonna chase all 4?
It definitely is it's in the works for sure. I've got a really good Eastern from out in Ontario. My very first Miriam I took in Washington State with a really super good guide, Tracy Zoller. He's a big steelhead guy and a big turkey guy down there, and I took a triple beard Miriam down there. So it was a heck of a bird. It was a tough start. I had no idea what I'd shot. I mean, I was green to turkeys. This big Tom come out, and I thumped him at 42 yards, and we get looking at him, and Dean that from the TV show and Tracy were just flipping out about how big it was, and I'm like, I don't know, it's a turkey. It's a nice turkey. Dean looked at me and he's like, yeah, that'd be like starting out with a 170 whitetail. I was just like, oh, damn it. So it kind of set the bar right there, and I mean, of course, I've never shot a double, let alone a triple beard since.
That's you don't see that too often.
No. The other 2 I need then are the Osceola, which is a bit of a toughie because he's down in Florida. So you got to get down in there and get those guys, and then Gould, which is kind of northern Mexico country, to get a Gould. They're the biggest of the bunch, real pretty white back to them and fans on them and stuff. That gives us 4, and then the 5th one is the Yucatan Peninsula. I don't know if you know about an ocellated turkey or not, but yeah, they're gorgeous. They look like peacocks. That's what I might have to do on my own because Sarah's not really keen on hitting that jungle with all the critters that are in there that kind of want to bite you and kill you. So
yeah, the type 2 fun.
Yeah, exactly. But more worry about a mosquito killing you down there than a spider. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, I would definitely love to get them all for sure.
Yeah, that'd be a cool experience, and to be able to share it would be neat. And I'm sure we'd you'd get that thing mounted and bring it to one of the shows here with you.
Definitely the ocellated.
Yeah. Now this past outdoor show in Chilliwack here, a friend of ours, Jenna McRae Taxidermy, she had a booth set up, and there was a decent main attraction at that booth, and it was a little Rosie that was sitting on a pedestal. You wanna chat about that little creature you took there?
That little fella there. I'm looking out my window at him here. I've got him up in the store now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, that was 21. Had a heck of a season, 21. Got my first stone sheep that year in August, and pulled a Roosevelt elk tag as well as a moose tag. But the moose tag, that was back in the old guide territory that I used to guide in. But once I pulled the Rosie tag, that moose was going to be a burner. I didn't even care about that thing. It was Rosie all the way. Yeah, the Rosie was a cool hunt. It was up the coast, mainland coast, region 2. We took the Kingfisher out my ocean boat and dropped it in Lund, BC, and had to run 90 miles way up into an inlet. Took a good friend of mine up there. We took mountain bikes with us and my little 9-foot striker boat and little motor. Yeah, we put on a ton of miles. We did 100K in 5 days on our boots and mountain bikes looking for a good bull. Went in on the 6th. Season didn't open till October 10th, so we scouted around on the 8th. On the 9th, we had a real good 5-point come out of the road in front of us, and I whistled at him and stopped him a few times. So it kind of showed they were still interested. Kind of a little late on the rut, but they were still interested. It was kind of funny when I stopped him. I looked at my buddy and I said, "Don't ask me to shoot that bull." I said, "I'm not here for something that looks like a Rocky. I'm here for a Rosie." And he couldn't believe it. He said, "You wouldn't shoot that?" I'm like, "Nope, that's a 5x5. I said, "I want crowns." So opening day came and went. We went out on the 10th and got out and got into the end of a block. And I mean, there were maple buds on the road that looked like they'd just been clipped off by elk. You could smell those elk there. We were just minutes behind them. Set up that night, did a little calling, and just nothing. Just didn't quite work out. And that, I mean, we all know that fern and that bush down on the coast like that, it's just a jungle. I mean, they step off the road and they're gone. So second day of season on the 11th, we got up in the morning and had some motor problems with the little kicker, get it going, and we had to ride across the ocean in this little boat and all of our gear about 1 kilometer across this inlet to get to the road on the other side of the spit. So finally got the motor going, and my partner was a little bit, I wouldn't say perturbed, but a little bit disappointed, I guess, because elk are, typically an early morning creature, and I just didn't matter. I was like, man, we got nowhere to go. Like, they're not going anywhere. They're here. We just got to find one. So we got across there and got up the way, and about 10:30, we were walking up the road and just kept popping out to the river and call a little bit, just cow squeak, and then back out and up the road and back to the river and cow squeak, and we sat on a log, just kind of overlooking some riverbank, and have granola bar and some pepperoni and just relax for a bit. And man, I couldn't believe my eyes. Look across the river, and here's this bull walking up the shoreline on the other side. And I mean, I could see with my naked eye at 300 yards, he was the one. There was no questions. So I bailed off the bank and run down that way, and Dave kind of stayed up in the hill and kept eyes on him for me. And by the time I got down there, I had lost him. I couldn't see him. He wasn't on the other side anymore, and I couldn't figure out where he'd gone. I thought maybe he went back in the bush. And I turned and looked ahead at me, and he'd already swam the river. He'd crossed that river, and he was coming to us. So he was on the bank in front of me, and I was getting set up, a little set of trigger sticks there. I was getting set up to get a shot at him, and he was just turned to his left, and he must have noticed me setting up, because he kind of swung his shoulder at me, looked over his shoulder, left shoulder at me, and just right away he swung back and looked back over his right shoulder, and you could just see what was going through his mind. Like, he knew he made a mistake, and he wanted to go back home. And so he kind of turned to go back that way, and I hit him and kind of sunk him. And I mean, we've hunted elk, but man, are they tough. So I'm shooting a 28 nozzler with 175s, leaving there. I hand load that gun, and they're leaving there at 30.92. And I hit him double lung, sunk him a bit. He stood back up. In with another round, I hit him again, and he didn't even think. He jumped straight in the river. And
Oh, geez.
I literally, I mean, I was dry heaving because that's all glacial till. You can't see in that water. And he was gone, completely gone. And he popped back up, and all that was sticking out was some face and a little bit of antler because he was hurting. I mean, he had 2 in his lungs, and he could not get his back up to swim proper. And I moved down the river, keeping an eye on him, and he struggled getting across. He finally got some footing on the other side and pulled himself up, but he wouldn't get out of the water. He was still kind of halfway up his body in the river. And I was yelling at Dave to come down. Dave come running down there and said, "Man, I'm sorry, but you got to get up there and get him out of the river for me." So he ran ahead, and poor guy's running through that beach sand. I mean, it was killing him.
Yeah.
And he got up there, and he's yelling at that bull and throwing sticks and rocks. That bull finally looked at him and finally started walking. He got up on the bank there. I let him get about 10 feet out of the bank, and I hit him again, and down he went. And again, just how tough those animals are. He rolled around, he got up again. I mean, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. So I just I needed him there. Where we're hunting was the highest density of grizzly bear population in the entire west coast of BC in that inlet. So I really needed him on the rocks. I needed him on that riverbank. We had to process him. We were about 7 kilometers from the ocean. I mean, we had some big days ahead of us to pack him out of there and get him back. So I didn't want him in the bush if I was going to have to deal with him there, right, for a day or two. So he got back up and took a few more steps, and I hit him again, kind of high neck, and just missed spine, like kind of no man's land in there, right? So that bull just stood and shook his head. So I'm in my pocket. I mean, I only had a few rounds with me. I've got a pocket full of brass now, and I'm looking for a sharp tip in my pocket, and finally found one, drop it in, lock it up, and hit him high back, and down he went. And man, we have video of that bull laying there, and he was still thrashing around in the rocks trying to get back up, like just tough as nails. But yeah, it just right place, right time. I mean, I think that's hunting. You know, your destiny has to collide with that animal. And we just got really lucky on that one. It was a hunt of a lifetime. I mean, a Rosie is a pretty amazing tag to draw, and I couldn't be happier with that bull. He's big, crowned out. He's all broke up from fighting. He's probably missing 30 inches or better of antler, and but yeah, what an animal.
Oh, yeah, there was quite the crowd around him in Chilliwack, and everyone gawking and trying to find out the story, but we were too far away from your booth, so you couldn't tell the story. I was just sitting there, a big mystery for a lot of folks.
Yeah.
Now, were you calling at all, or was it just happened to walk out on the river and you just your luck at that time?
No, I was just cow calling a little bit. When I saw that 5-point bull on the road on the 9th, or on the 8th, I just kind of whistled at him a few times, like cow call whistled at him, and locked him up. I mean, that bull locked up and turned broadside a few times. So it kind of told me they were probably a little behind the rut, but still looking for a cow, right? I mean, if they hear a cow, they're still going to check it out. So yeah, we were just going up the road, and I would pop out to the riverbank, and I'd give some cow calls, and we'd go back up on the road, and we'd just walk a little further and pop out to the river and cow call, and I'm sure that bull heard that. And once we went down and got back to the other side, we had to go all the way back down and cross with the little boat and back up the other side to get to him. And once we got over there, I mean, that whole area that he had come from was just shredded. I mean, every tree in there was destroyed. I mean, that guy had spent some time in there, and that clearly was his home. So I think he heard that cow call, and he just kind of popped out to the riverbank to see what was going on, and it was enough that he actually swam that river over to us.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Now, you're in the West Coast there in heavy grizzly country where you were. Were you guys seeing any grizzlies while you were there, or you just knew they were there, so your hair was rising on the back of your neck just waiting?
No, we saw 5.
Yeah.
And my partner there, he's okay with them, but he's never really dealt with them much. I mean, I've guided them. I mean, I got to hunt them a bit before they were closed down, and I actually took my last one in 2017. That year it was closed, or that it closed. I mean, you just have to respect them, of course, right? And we saw a sow with twin cubs the one day across the river from us, and we watched her, and I just kind of watch them, because every animal will teach you a lesson if you're willing to watch them and learn the lesson. And she milled around. They were kind of feeding on salmon carcasses along the riverbank and just doing their thing. And she moved up onto a log, and you could see at one point her nose come up, and she started scenting upriver. And something got her attention. And I can only guess it would probably be a bigger boar, because her cubs were that year's cubs. And her whole demeanor changed. She was head up, and she was paying attention upriver. And she just kind of woofed at those cubs, and they were on her tail right now, and she was into the bush with them and gone. So something upriver, caught her attention, and she didn't like it, and she got out of there, right? So, yeah, there were definitely no shortage of grizzly in there.
Any dealings with them while you were taking care of your elk afterwards, or no?
Thank goodness, no. So that area we were in, there was only 3 tags given out. So all 3 of us were in there. We got to know each other. We're all in the same kind of small valley. One of the guys that was in there was from Campbell River, commercial fisherman from Campbell River. He come in. He brought a little skiff with him with an outboard jet. And our harebrained idea was, I had a little prop motor and this little 9-foot striker airboat. It's kind of like a little Zodiac. It's a striker. And our harebrained idea was, we had a second prop, and we were going to run that thing up the river as far as we could and grind props off, or use our waders and drag it up, portage it, whatever we needed to do to get up there and then get back down with chunks of elk. He come down just as we were kind of getting geared up to go, and he looked at where we were in the river, and he just laughed. He says, "You guys, you'll never make it." He says, "I'll help you today. We'll get that out of there for you." And he had actually brought a little quad in. So he took the rest of his day to come up there. He run me up there. I started breaking the elk down, did some video and stuff like that, got some photos with it, and started cutting trail in. And he grabbed Dave and come up, and by the time we were done kind of breaking down quarters, he had worked his quad down in there to us and was able to kind of run pieces out to the road, and then able to run pieces back down to the ocean there so we could tie it up for the night. And yeah, he saved us a ton. We'd have been days. The next day, he was up the river. He went up the river past that, and he sent me pictures. I still have the pictures of a big boar grizzly sitting on that carcass, completely buried. It was just a rock pile, a great big boar sitting on that thing, looking out at the boat as he drove by. So, yeah, I mean, if we would have taken 2 days, we definitely would have we'd have met that boar for sure. So I'm very thankful. I was very thankful to Steve, and he took care of us, and I sent him a nice Christmas gift that year for that, for sure.
Well, that's quite the incredible help to randomly run into in the bush. There's a lot of nice guys out there, but that's take a day out of their own hunt to help out a fellow hunter. That's quite the story. Good on him.
Yeah.
Class act.
Yeah, salt of the earth guy.
Yeah, right on. Now, the reason most people tune into this podcast, and we're sheep guys, and you have you got a decent stones under your belt that you brought out to Kamloops this year, and we hung up on the wall to display, and I think it was right at the front door, so everybody got to see it as they walked in. What's the story behind that one? Was that your first stone?
First stone, yeah. First hunt for sheep. I hate to say that, because that'll make me really popular.
Yeah.
Even a blind pig finds an acorn now and then. It was. I don't hunt one specific animal. I kind of I grew up guiding moose, black bear, grizz. Hunted moose a ton. I've hunted elk. I've taken Rockies, now the Rosie. It's kind of I've got a goat. Just kind of everything. I really enjoy hunting, and I hunt to hunt, and I love the experience of it. So this was kind of come up. A good friend of mine, Damon McCullough, we're talking about it, and he's like, "Oh, well, heck, let's sheep hunt. I'll get you a sheep," he says. So that kind of started it. I started in the local gym, so I'm kind of lucky. The shop where I'm at right now, there's a boxing gym right next door to me. I got in there and got boxing. I boxed before, but I got real serious about it there. And I dropped, from January through to sheep time, I dropped 37 pounds getting ready for that hunt.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was good. It was a lot of work, but I needed it. I needed to get back into shape and get ready for that and peel a bunch of that weight to be ready for that mountain hunt. So we went kind of blind. We went to an area that the boys had never hunted before. They had taken several rams in a different area, and I thought that was our intent. That was originally our plan. We were going to that area that they'd hunted before. We'd go back and try and find some sheep and hopefully get one or two. We were about a month out and they changed the plan. They're like, we're going somewhere else. We're going jet boating. And I was just like, ooh, okay. But I was up for the adventure. Don't matter. Let's go. Let's go for an adventure. So we did. We run north, dropped the boats, and went for a pretty epic journey there. I mean, we were over 9 hours in the boats heading in, packing close to 900 liters of fuel with us. It's the old stop and put fuel in and leave fuel on the beach and keep going. Got in and again, just kind of blind. There was 5 of us originally went in and we went, okay, you guys go on that side of the river. We're going to do this side of the river. And away we went. We just picked a drainage, looked at fat maps and went, well, we think we can get in this drainage and up. And we just kind of went and we were 2.5 days in to get up the drainage, set camp, and there was some ewes and lambs on the hill up above us actually where we set camp. So we got to watch them in the rocks, and I never sheep hunted. I'd seen them on the highway going north when we were doing our hunts out of Atlin and stuff, right? I guess I'd seen stone sheep out of our hunt in Atlin. I got a caribou that one year and we saw some stones, but so it was my first time really watching them, and I was just in awe watching them on that shale slide, and watch them bed in, and then get up and start feeding. And I just sat there and watched them. Like, what are you eating? Are you eating rocks, or like what are you living on up there? There's nothing to drink. I mean, they're just a pretty incredible animal that habitat they're living in, and just eking out a living, eating whatever shrubbery they can find up there, right?
Yeah.
So. We that was our 2.5 days up. We kind of explored the end of that drainage and got up around the corner, and we were seeing trails and lots of sign. I mean, the sheep had to be there somewhere, and we come up over the hill and turn into the end of the drainage to look back on the back side of it and come over the hill, and man, there they were all bedded in. There was 10 rams there and 16 ewes and lambs, and I near tackled them into the ground. I mean, they're 700 yards out, but they got 8 power bino eyeballs, I believe, right? So, I mean, we might as well have been just about on top of them at that point. So, anyway, we dug in and we watched them for a couple hours, and that was the 30th of July. I mean, my ram was a no-doubter. I mean, we saw that thing, and it was there's no questions. I mean, he's over his nose. He's about 38. Yeah, he's just over 38 inches on one side and 36.5 inches on the other, and well up over his nose. So I mean, he was go for sure. And then there was a couple more in there that one was making full curl, and the other one looked like he was a dinosaur. I mean, he was old as heck, all deformed, real weird looking ram out of the bunch. So we just watched a couple hours, backed out of there, and went back to camp and just kind of settled in that night on the 30th. The 31st was killing my partner because he wanted to go back and watch him again, and I'm going, nah, we know where they're at. They're bedded there. They're not going to go anywhere. Let's just leave them. They've seen us once. Let's not show them again until it's go time. And so we did. We hung out there, and I knew the shot. We'd ranged it. I knew I was going to have to shoot, 630 to 650 was going to be my shot on these guys. So again, I had that 28 Nosler with me, and the day before we snuggled in, I picked a rock across the valley at 640, and one round, touched the trigger, thumped that rock. We're like, okay, we're good. We're not playing around anymore. So we just kind of adventured around in the valley there that day, went out another side of the drainage and looked, and we'd actually seen 3 ewes and 2 lambs come through and go out that one drainage. So we poked our nose over there, no idea where they went. I mean, it dropped off down into a hole into the trees, and again, not hunting stones before. I mean, I believe that the more you know about an animal, the more successful you're going to be. Once you know their habits, their habitat, and what they need, what they want, their world really shrinks and you become a more successful hunter. So I kind of took that time to really try and learn as much as I could about them and really pick Damon's brain too, because he had hunted them quite a bit. So it was learn as much as I could from him and from them. So, opening morning come around and woke up to an alarm that was pretty funny. I mean, I don't know if you guys probably know Damon. He's a character. I love him to death. And I wake up to an alarm at 3 o'clock going off, and it says, you can set your alarm to say different things. I wake up and kill a fucking sheep. Wake up and kill a fucking sheep. And I'm like, what? So funny. So we get up and, have our coffee and get ready, and we're ready to leave and kind of wait for sun up there. We roll out of camp about 4:15 and get over up on top of the hill just before 6 and get out on the side hill. So we're kind of just crawl out on the side hill. He's set up behind me, spotter, typical, he's spotter. He's got my rangefinders ranging for me, gives me dial up. And I set gun. I set a couple rounds on the lawn beside me, and I forgot my jacket for a rear rest on the back of the gun. So I'm kind of in panic mode. He's like, you want me to crawl back? I said, no, man, we're out here. Like, we're so exposed. Like, we can't move. I'm laying there thinking. I'm like, dude, undo my boot. He's like, what? I'm like, take off my boot. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah. So he peeled off my right boot. He hands me my boot, and I set my low up in the back, and it was just perfect. I mean, those boots worked out. That boot worked out awesome as a rear rest on that gun. It was funny because he took that boot off, and Damon said to me after, he's like, man, all I could think of is you better hurry or those mosquitoes were going to kill you, because they were just like, my white sock was turning black with mosquitoes. So anyways, those rams are there. It was go time. Got a shot, 6:15, settle in on him, and Damon in the spotter, he shoots a ton of long range. I shoot a lot of stuff too, and first round, send it, and just over his back. So Damon, I was good, left and right was good, it was just over his back. So he's like, you're 6 inches high. So all right. So at this point, I can't touch that scope anymore. It's just hold now. And those rams all kind of were together, and bottom left ram, Damon saying, bottom left. And they're all 10 of them there. I'm like, are you sure? Yeah, bottom left. All right. So I settle in again. I hold under him, touch the trigger, right in front of his chest. So we had some wind in there that we couldn't see with all the shale. I mean, there was no grass, just all shale. And so we had a little wind blowing me up and right. So I needed low left. So that round was right in front of his chest. It turned that ram and moved him away from the band. And he turned. He was coming back on the sheep trail. I kicked that empty. I dropped in a live round, locked it up. I got back on him. And in my head, I was thinking, low left, low left. He's walking right, hold low. He'll walk into it. I held just under him, held leg, touched the trigger, and he walked right into it. And he jumped, and he just kicked like a mule deer does. Trotted ahead a little bit, and he stopped. And I kicked that cartridge in with another round, locked it up, and I got back on him, and I watched. And you could just see him turn. He turned. He faced back up the hill, and he turned, showed me his left side. And I could just see blood pumping out of him. I mean, it was heart. It was everything. He was done. So, yeah, he went down on the trail right there. And then we're pretty excited. I mean, the whole sheep dance we're doing, we're high-fiving and hugging and pretty happy and got this done, and we're starting to clean up our stuff. And I mean, I anchored him on the trail. Couldn't be any better. And at this point, we didn't know what was in front of us. We didn't know if it was a canyon in there or what, because we were never able to crawl out and see what was down in that hole. And as we're cleaning up our stuff, I hear that noise, and I turn, and I'm like dry heaving as this ram starts to roll down the hill. All I could think of was, don't break the lamb tips, please. And you could just hear horn and rock, and oh God, it was so bad. But turned out where he slid down into was a bit of a draw down in there, and it was better for us because it put us down in that draw where we could work on him. There was a big rock down in there. We pulled him and set him up on a rock and got some really good photos and stuff, and yeah, so it worked out for the best. But yeah, it was pretty cool. Very, very stressful, getting that shot and missing, and then having to get back on him and kind of just regroup and get it done, right? So, yeah, he was on our back at 9:15. We were back to camp kind of 11:30, unloaded, got everything loaded up on our backpacks. Camp broke down and started out of there at 12:30. We didn't stop until 8 that night. So, yeah, it was good. Got back to the river like 2:30 the next day or something. So, yeah, we earned that one. It was a ton of fun.
Right on. So the the 28 Nosler did its job. What were you saying? You're just over 600 with that one?
Yeah, he was 637 or something.
Oh man, that's there you go. Reached out and touched the sheep with that one.
Yeah, reach out and touch them. Yeah, I'm kind of lucky on the farm. I've got steel hung at 525, so we shoot 320, 420, and 525 pretty regular. So I mean it wasn't out of the question for me. I run the SIG kilo rangefinder, and I trust it. It does its job. It's just up to me to do my job at that point. I got to settle in and make a shot, right? So yeah, and my birthday's August 5th too. So excuse me. So we were out of there. We were out of there on the 3rd. Took the 4th off. Hiked back in the 5th. 4th, 5th. We hiked back in on my birthday, and man, we anchored Damon and Ram on the 6th. So it was a pretty epic trip.
Oh, right on. Double down, eh? Was that his first ram as well?
No, I think that's his 3rd.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's his 3rd.
Did he get the
real old?
Was it the gnarly old boy you were talking about that was with yours?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he looks like something straight out of the Goonies. He's missing a bunch of teeth and really crazy horn growth. He was over 12 years old. He was 12 years old. Great ram to take out of the population and probably been passed up a dozen times. I showed pictures of that to Clay Lancaster, and Clay figured sinusitis, that maybe that ram had gotten sinusitis and it messed up his horn development somewhere in its life. Like, he was good growth until the 4th ring, and then he's all messed up. He's really weird.
Is that? I think I know the ram you're talking about. It looks normal, and then just as you get to the bases, it thickens up quite a bit. Like there's a step almost in the horns. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, big step. They get really big and thick, and they go up. And then, like I say, that 4th, he's good. Lamb tips up to 4 years, but he's really weird. Even his skull, like we got pictures of both our skulls together, and I mean his skull is all because of that disease that he got, or virus. I'm not sure what. I didn't get too deep into it with Clay. You guys would probably know more about it for sure than me, but it seemed to deform his skull even a little bit. Like his whole head is a little different. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool old ram.
Awesome. So what's next there on your calendar for hunts? Anything special lined up this year?
We got a little crazy last year. We tried sheep again. Saw a bunch of rams. Had a ram at 7 yards. I had a 5-year-old ram at 7 yards. We had 2 6s and a 7-year-old right there at like 20. And the 2 rams we needed had dropped down in the draw, and we watched them move across the hill and out the drainage. And then we kind of got weathered in. Couldn't get back in there last year, back in the drainage that we needed to get into again. And we survived that thunderstorm that so many guys went through night before opener last year in the north. It was we were pretty. I felt like we were gonna die. I could smell ozone. Like we had 3 lightning strikes that hit trees, and it was flash and thunder at the same time. And the Damon asked me, he's like, does carbon conduct electricity? I just laughed. I'm like, one of the best. Oh, you shouldn't have told me that. I'm like, you asked, man. You asked. So yeah, we did that, and I took my wife on a fly-in caribou hunt last year. So we did a 2-week fly-in on that, and kind of got just gutted by weather. Lots of wind, lots of rain. So her first big mountain fly-in hunt was a bit of a rough one. Saw caribou, but not the right caribou. Saw the right caribou on the wrong mountain. Like we did 80K in there, stood on 3 mountains, and just couldn't get her a caribou. So we did a lot last year. So this year's going to be a little bit leaner for me. We're booking caribou for next year. Hopefully it remains open next year. We're gonna hopefully do it again. She really wants a caribou. So this year she kind of is trying to talk me into trying bighorn maybe. So we might look at that kind of in August. We might try and get away, but again, that's gonna have to shut down my salmon guide season to get away and chase bighorns if we choose to do that. But that's that might be our trip this year, is try that, and then we'll do our whitetail. We usually do a whitetail hunt in November and things like that. So,
oh, right on. That's if you get after bighorn, that's always a fun one. Nice mild climate too. You just
Yeah, I've never hunted them. I mean, they're little, a little different with the way we have to judge them and look at them. I think that's everybody who sheep hunts knows that. Like, that's kind of the stress part of that, is making sure, like, you need to be 120% sure you've got a legal ram in front of you. And all of us who do hunt and enjoy the outdoors, we got to be prepared to walk away and not squeeze the trigger and ground check stuff. It's okay to go home without anything. And I think we see a lot of that in social media right now. I mean, you're seeing a lot of, I don't know if it's narcissism or what we want to say, but there's just a ton of it where, the pressure of these hunts, you spend so much time and money and energy preparing and everything to go on these big hunts. Like a couple years ago, we had so many troubles with young rams and undersized rams being harvested. We just got to be willing to walk away. And I think that's something that everybody should be willing to do. If we can afford to do this trip, we can afford to walk away and do it again. So I think that's just something everybody needs to kind of consider and think about when we do these hunts, where you got to properly identify, horn development or antler tine counts or anything like that. Like, hunt with family and friends, enjoy your time, and just be prepared to walk away. And it's okay to walk away, right? Just go do it again next year and let that animal grow.
Well, there's a wise man on this call who's remained silent, Mr. Stelter. I've heard him say a few times a sheep hunter's, I'm going to butcher this, but a sheep hunter's not made by the sheep he harvests, but the ones he lets walk away. Now, I don't know if he stole that from somewhere or it's...
Definitely a good one, though.
That must have been while we were drinking whiskey, because I don't remember that. But it's just a good saying, and I'll take credit for it. Sure, why not? Awesome. So, are you with the Bighorn? Then, are you guys gonna just do a general open? Obviously, probably put in for some draws. But if you're not lucky, then you're just gonna go for a general open, Jason.
Yeah, we'll drop draws. I mean, the LEH thing is kind of probably like everybody, where we shotgun just about everything just to try and get something. It's I'm not that guy. So, some people draw LEH kind of regular. I'm not that person. I drew a Rosie, and so everybody will probably listen to that and be like, come on. But, I mean, you look at my track record, and I used to pull goats and grizzlies, and now they got rid of grizzlies. So now I pull the odd goat. We'll definitely put in for LEH, and if not, then we're going to do that open season. We'll try. I mean, I know there's a lot of pressure on some of those hunts. So what time of year we go, I'm not sure. Whether we delay it and go later, or do we catch opener, I'm not sure. I mean, really, it's about getting Sarah out and getting her more mountain experience, and just having that experience with her. Getting that for her, and if we get lucky to get the right ram, then perfect. If not, then we get a good experience and get some mountain hunting in. So
sounds pretty cool to me. Hey, I got a quick question for you. Side step. Do you guys have much for archery equipment in the store?
Yeah, you bet. Actually, yeah. I was out flinging arrows today. That's what I was saying. We do that 3D shoot. So, we do. I do Bowtechs and all their lines. I do some crossbow stuff, but definitely have some archery tackle here. You bet.
Cool. Thanks. I'll have to chat with you offline.
Yeah, of course.
I think we've drugged this one out long enough, Kyle? It's great chatting with you, Jason. Where do people find you in Westside Stores and Bucktail Adventures?
Yeah, so Westside Stores, you can catch it online. I mean, we have a pretty full retail store there. I mean, it's a massive task. Sarah works on it daily, trying to get more and more items up. With Hunt Fish Camp, there's a lot of fishing tackle on there, and the archery tackle, some of that will be on there and everything. But westsidestores.ca, and then bucktailadventures.ca. So both websites there. There's social media that Sarah does. That's definitely not my forte. I'm just a redneck out there catching fish for people. So she's the brains of the operation when it comes to social media and the websites for sure. She's putting her marketing degree and her fine arts degree to work on that one. So you can catch us there or come in. Great to see people come in. If you come through Salmon Arm, definitely swing into the shop. It's something where, the shop this size, everybody comes, when you walk in, you don't see this store. You kind of come through the till area and come around the corner, and a lot of people who've never been here, the first is just a wow out of their face, because it's like, holy, there's, I've got lots of taxidermy in here. My life-size goat's in here. That Rosie's here. I have 3 life-size black wolves in here. Lots of stuff. My caribou's in here. There's bear hides and antler tree, and yeah, lots to see. The kids enjoy that. They get to see the different animals, and I quiz them sometimes on what that animal is and what that animal is, and we have fun with it. So yeah, definitely would love to see people swing in and check us out. It's worth the stop, I think, for sure.
Awesome. Sounds good. Well, thank you for your time, Jason. It was great chatting with you tonight.
Yeah, you bet, guys. I appreciate the opportunity, and yeah, it's been good.